Oh, you're a subscriber of Yae Miko and this channel. You pulled Yae Miko using all of your rent money, trying to explain to your parents how you did this for love while they debate that fun balloon they didn't use. Now, you have to show them that it was worth all the investment and that you can make your money back. And not only that, start your new book, Please Step on Me, Yae Miko-san. And I'm here with a guide just for you.
Traveling to other...
Yae Miko has two roles, an off-field DPS and a burst DPS. Cause like a real dom, she's gonna make you do all the work. Now get to writing.
worlds is all that anyone's...
What you should know is Yae is very picky about her time. She won't just read any book that's on the market. The books she reads have to be brilliant, marketable, and definitely not that trash you keep writing. But don't worry, I'll give you a ton of books you can use right now. The Kagura, crit damage, skill damage, and also electro damage. The skill damage after using it 3 times will boost your regular elemental damage with all attacks. Skyward Atlas, attack percentage, electro damage bonus, and then also at the same time you get a little turret that's gonna shoot and go pew pew with you as you're doing attack. Lost Prayer, crit rate, speed, and more electro damage. So now we're down to the 4 stars, the Solar Pearl, crit rate, and your normal attacks boost your burst and your skill damage, which is very useful in a character like Yae, and then vice versa, your skill and burst damage boost your normal attacks. Oath Sworn Eye, attack percentage, ER up every time you use a skill, which allows you to get more energy back with this high cost burst character. The Windsith, crit damage, attack percentage, elemental damage, and elemental mastery. And if you would like to see the damage difference between the Kagura and the Windsith, I do have a video up about this. It's very short, about 2 minutes, so you can watch right after this. The Hakushin Ring, energy recharge. Now, let's try to make this simple. If you use a reaction, your Electro character will now be buffing the Hydro character you're using to get said reaction. And if you were to use Pyro, it would also do the same thing. However, people typically recommend that you use this weapon with Electro charged teams, so Electro and Hydro. I think each one of these weapons can be useful and be used efficiently. However, some of these weapons do better with other sets, like Oathsworn Eye and the Hakushin Ring will do very good probably with the Severed Fate set, just because the energy recharge will buff the set. Other weapons like the Windsith might be a little harder to get, but if you do have it, you do have a chance to up your crit damage. You only have to focus on your crit rate with artifacts. However, the buffs can be a little inconsistent. Some of them do more damage than the 5-star weapon, and then one of them do not. And then lastly, the easiest one to kind of get out the way would be the Solar Pearl. However, this is one that you would have to pay into, obviously, but it does give you the crit rate if you're looking for it, and it's not as expensive of having to go full on in for Kagura or just hoping you get a Windsith that chance. It took me almost 2 months to get one. Now, put your wallet down.
Seems to be writing about the...
You might be asking, Eagle, why is Yae singing an onsen fully clothed? Spa. 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 That's the reason why we're in here. Skills, burst, autos. No, not spa. Spa. Speaking about talent priorities, let's go over her talents. Yae Miko's normal attack is 3 attacks that do electro damage, and it is super, and I mean super slow. The charge attack is also slow. However, it does look like she's doing a really cool dance. You'll most likely not be using it that often.
Legend once says there was a pillar of degeneracy. However, throughout time, that pillar was split into 3: down badness, questionable search history, and godless pillars. However, if one was to bring all 3 of these pillars together and use them, they would get the maximum amount of degen power.
So that was my way of saying use all 3 pillars. When you use all 3 pillars, they all level up to level 3. If you only use 1, it's only at level 1. If you use 2, they're both at level 2. If you use 3, they're all at level 3, and they do their most damage. And you can basically just keep throwing these out because the cooldown on it is really short. So I swear this is the last of the degen analogies. So her burst, right? Think about her burst this way. So we get her burst and you use it and a giant shoe comes down and steps on your opponent. Now, for every pillar you throw out is another step. So if you throw out all 3 pillars, she'll step on the opponent 4 times. The initial time and then the other 3 because of the pillars. It's a terrible analogy, but you're gonna remember this probably for the rest of your life. Her passive talent is basically once you use the burst, it restarts your E. So every time you destroy a pillar, which is what happens when we do the step on analogy, we get our pillars back. This enables you to go skill, 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 burst, skill, skill, skill. So you can reset, switch to another character to do damage while the skill is still helping you do damage. So this is her passive talent that allows you to use Elemental Mastery to increase the damage, but if you saw my last video with the Windsith and Kagura weapon, the EM did not do much in the point of damage at all, really. I would say this really doesn't matter as much, but if you do have the stat of EM on any of your artifacts, well, now you have some use for it.
These days.
So, you bumbling fool, I've already told 3 jokes in the last section, so we're going to go straight into this. So, as artifacts go, you either want a 2-piece Thunder Fury, 2-piece attack percentage to give you electro damage bonus and attack percentage, either 2-piece Thunder Fury emblem set, so that way you get the electro damage bonus and energy recharge, because she does have a burst that costs quite a lot, or you go for emblem set to give her burst the max amount of damage while also giving her energy. Now, each of these will depend on what playstyle you'd like to do and also what weapon. As you can see from my own, I have a 2-piece attack percentage and then the Thunder Fury set for your electro damage bonus. Stats for me outside of Flower and Feather: attack percentage, electro damage bonus, and then crit rate. This Flower basically has all the substats I would want: crit damage, elemental mastery, crit rate, and then probably attack percentage or energy recharge here would be fine. If you're running the emblem set, you might change this to energy recharge, possibly. It also might get her burst back a bit faster, but people always debate energy recharge versus attack percentage with this set as it is. And now you can't use that set I know you were making just so she'd look down on you for being stupid. Now, as we established earlier, you're broke. We really shouldn't be looking at constellations, but I know you're gonna ask me anyways, for dear Yae-san. So let's go through them. C1 gives you energy back from her burst, which is good because her burst does take a lot of charge. C2 levels up the turrets to level 2 and then also increases the range, which is a buff to her skill. C4 is an electro buff to all team members in their party. C5 upgrades her burst. And then C6 is basically Raiden's defense ignore for Yae's skill. So Yae's skill will now ignore 60% of the opponent's defense. If you were to ask me, I'd probably either go C1 or C2. C2 for range and upgrading the turrets, and then C1 to give her energy, especially if you don't have a character like Raiden or Fischl, someone to help her bring back a little bit more energy. Also, it might make your runs in Spiral Abyss a bit quicker, but you need to be saving that rent money anyway, so don't even freaking look at this.
Goodness knows what they...
Now on to our electrifying teams. The first one we have here is Mono Electro, with all this Ada in one place. Raiden is our burst DPS, Yae as our support and burst DPS off field, and then Sarah as our buffer, with Jean here to give VV buff, so that way we can make sure that the electro damage is doing as much as possible. Having an Anemo support like Jean, Kazuha, or Sucrose allows you to use the VV set's buff, lowering the enemy's defense to the element you swirl with. However, I don't use Jean typically with this comp, so she doesn't have the 4-piece set here. There's only 2 comps I typically run with electro characters. It's either I'm using the national team or I'm using Tay's comp. Here, these two keep their same positions. However, Sucrose now is able to do crowd control and swirl for us. And then Kokomi's jellyfish applies Hydro, giving us an enabler. And also, whenever you use her burst, after the jellyfish is about to run out, you can restart its cooldown. Jellyfish is able to react more with elements than most other people's skills. Skills like Mona's E or Xingqiu's burst. They're both still good characters and can be substituted in instead, but I typically like to rely on Kokomi for applying Hydro. The main thing with Yae is just making sure she still has another electro unit with her, so like Kaching or Fischl, because she can't really get as much energy back herself. Her skill doesn't do like a terrible job at it, but it'd be better to have 2 electro units just in general. I'm mainly going to be using this team to demonstrate my builds. My Raiden is C3, so do keep that in mind. However, my Yae talents are all currently level 6. Let's have her 5-star weapon, however it is only at level 80. My artifact set is also kind of dumb. I farmed like crazy for her. Look at these stats, I'm so proud. Without further ado, let's do some damage.
Find so disappointing about...
Freeze right there. This other pink-haired shrine maiden says you have to click this video right here and learn how to play Ningguang. You better hurry up, you made her angry, and you're not gonna like her when she's angry.